What's up, y'all? Steven here, Mr. Bike Bong Biff himself. Got an epic race today. 1 lap, 33 miles, 1,800 feet of climbing. Oh, a few sprints in there. Nobody really takes the sprints very seriously. It's kind of just trying to hang on in the climbs. And let me tell you, it starts off freaking crazy. You can see I'm doing like 5-6 watts a kilogram. And I can't hang with this front group of A riders. With this mass start, everybody starts together. A blessing and a curse. On a flat route, it's really nice. On a hilly one, it's not. I mean, just looking at this effort, top 3,800 of all time. I mean, you can see the 96% on the top. I'm busting my butt, trying to hang with everyone. Got a nice PB, but it just wasn't enough to stick with the A riders. Pretty disappointing, but I mean, what else can you do? Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know. Either way you look at it, there's another climb that comes up just down the road. You get a little bit of time to relax, not much. And as usual, things start off pretty hot. Probably could have pushed to the front a little bit just to make it a little bit safer. But at this point, I kind of figured that everybody in this group shared a similar type of power output. Nobody's going to be blowing anybody out of the water, because if you were that strong, you would have just been in the group in front of us. Not to say that this was an easy climb by any means. You can still see my heart rate's easily going up past 180. And that's fast. That's hard. So I mean, when we exit, we were with the top few riders. Ended up with another PB here. Averaged about 304 watts. Heart rate was above 180 the whole time. Not even close to the top 10. We were 3,800 on the last one. I think this one we were about 14,000. So, definitely better. So we finally do have a bit of time to rest. I do drop my water bottles, both of them actually. I fast forwarded through it. Nobody needs to watch me struggle trying to get a water bottle on and off the bike. Kind of ridiculous. Did prevent a little bit of rest. And as we approach the climb, I kind of go back to my typical mentality of not leading the group, but being in the top few, especially since we still have over 20 miles to the finish. I remember thinking at this point, like, dear Lord, my legs are destroyed, and we still aren't even halfway. And this climb's a lot steeper than the other ones. You can see there's a lot of red here. Nobody's going too crazy off the front, still have a bunch of C riders with us. And I'm actually feeling pretty strong, so I start to push a little bit more than I normally would. Looking back, I wish we would have kind of been towards the back of the group and saved the legs a little bit, but you never really know how things are going to play out in a race this long. And one guy just busts through and is gone. Nowhere to be seen. But we did really well. Averaged 317 watts. Another heart rate average of 180 plus BPM. For it being the third hard climb, I'm very happy with that. Nobody chased the one guy that went off on their own. They were an A rider, and considering I was in the B category, I do give a few digs here and there, but I kind of think better of it, because even if we do push up and catch him, it's not going to affect me at all. I guess, it does have a placement in this race in the top here where you can see where you place against everybody. But as soon as the race is over, you never see that again. So kind of helps motivate you in the time being, but when everything's said and done, it doesn't affect you at all. And joy, we've got back-to-back climbs here, back-to-back KOMs. I actually usually don't mind these two KOMs. They're a lot less steep than the one that we just did, and there's actually a really nice break in between. So drafting actually can be pretty beneficial here, while on the other one, really couldn't do that much at all. So I kind of hang back, let things kind of play out, and just react to the moves as they come. And there's one final little kick here. Just make sure that we don't get gapped too much. And then we will get a nice little rest before the pretty steep portion. The climb coming up is pretty difficult here. Hit the banner, and another really solid effort. This time our power was only around 250 watts. Heart rate was a lot lower, about 170 BPM. I mean, we're a lot further into the race, so I'm not surprised that our power dipped so much. But it was another PB, and you know, those are the types of things that are important in a long ride like this. Approaching this final, really difficult climb, you can see it's super, super steep. Absolutely brutal. And actually, I was feeling really good at this point. And I moved to the front and I kind of paced this. The one thing that does usually bother me though, when you do the pacing, you tend to have to be the individual to react to an attack, because if you don't, and the group doesn't move behind you, well then that rider gets to essentially just go off and have a free ride on their own. Granted, it's never usually easy for them, but they'll do it. So you see, right when we get to this steep bit, we get a really tough move from two riders. And I chase it down pretty quickly, luckily. And we get over the top in the group, and we get a nice draft down. Again, average about 300 watts. Heart rate was a little bit lower, so pretty interesting. Had a nice little max effort there of 560 watts. Another PB. Just got to keep the ride going and hope that we get a nice recovery. Oddly enough, you would think that this would be the most relaxed portion of the ride, but once we get to this flatter section, there's actually a bunch of attacks that happen over and over again. You see that I'll stand up, try not to react too hard. Don't like to give super punchy efforts like that when I'm fatigued. But it really does kind of exhaust me for what I thought was supposed to be the easiest part of the race. You know, you look on that ride profile in the top right and you see a bunch of flat and downhill, and you think it's going to be nothing, but oh no, this was probably the more difficult part, because you've already done, what, 5 climbs? You got to punch and then the climb finish. You know, you want to be able to rest as much as you can, but that obviously wasn't the case. Approaching this final little kick, somebody goes off on their own. Another just leg sapping effort. I actually come really, really close to getting dropped here, like absurdly close. But now that we're 2 miles from the finish, let's join the race.
We're about to start the climb. We just got back on. Dude in the front with the Zwift play, making me motion sick. This is gonna be a hard effort. My legs are toast. Going up that kicker, oh my lord. Everyone's gonna be suffering though, so let's just try to keep a high cadence. See what we can do. Sheesh. I'm sure you can hear in my voice how destroyed I feel. Let's go. Oh, man. Strong sea rider, holy cow. Almost there. Feel the pump, building in the legs. Lord. Oh. Oh. Shoot. Should have just kept at my pace there. Oh. Let's go. Juicy, baby. Come on. Goodness. Fast recovery. I'm gonna try and go. Pray for me. Come on. Easy. Oh. Oh! Come on! Damn. Wow. Fourth. I'm telling you. Our secret, our hidden talent, getting fourth place. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Boys and girls, that was a grand old time. Hour and a half of hard riding. I know we got dropped in that first bit, but there's no way we were going to hang with them. And we stuck with some really strong riders. 3.3 watts for an hour and a half. Happy. Considering my 30 minutes efforts, usually around 3.7, 3.8. Check some power numbers quick. Oh. Let me pull those up and show y'all. We had to have gotten some PRs for a top hour. There's no way we didn't. Good stuff, good stuff. As always, my friends, thank you for tuning in and watching me destroy myself over and over again. I think this is really helping us to get stronger. We were in the B cat for this one. And that's just how these larger group rides kind of roll. You know, everybody starts together. And the Sea Rider stuck with everyone. So it was fun. If you like this sort of thing, please consider liking the video, subscribing, all that sort of fun stuff. As my dog goes crazy. As always, stay strong. And I'll see you. Woo! Brisket. Brisket. This is the crazy man. Brisky. Hello.